Hey there, Elizabeth here, and before we get into today's episode, I thought I would just make sure you knew about my free workshop. It's called The 3 Secrets to Integrating the Arts with SEL. And if you're interested in creating some calm, dissolving those distractions, and promoting positivity in your classroom, this is definitely a workshop you want to check out. You can go to theinspiredclassroom.com/workshop and register for free right there. I hope to see you inside. All right, let's jump right into today's episode in the Inspired Classrooms podcast. We've been looking at some creative teacher self-care and specifically some permissions that I believe are really important for caring creative teachers to keep in mind when they're starting to feel that feeling of overwhelm and stress and just the pressures of curriculum and just everything that goes on with teaching. Last episode, we looked at the permission to pause. Today, we're going to look at the permission to create. And next episode, we'll actually look at the permission to dust off a few old lessons. We'll talk more about that next time. All right, so let's think about the permission to create. And here's what I mean. We can be going on with our content, whatever our content is, whether we teach high school or our 7th grade or 1st grade, we all have our own content that we need to teach. Well, every once in a while, you need to give yourself permission to take whatever it is you're learning and allow your students to create something that goes with that. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's an end-of-unit project, or maybe it's just something that kind of is, you get a little inspiration and you think, oh, this would make a cool little art project, or maybe we could create a collage that would go with one of these concepts, or maybe the kids would like to try and create a quick skit about whatever it is we're learning. These opportunities for your students to create can really be what truly just solidifies the content that you're teaching. What this is really is the beginning thoughts of arts integration, right? So let me give you a quick example of when I gave myself permission to create. And it coincided with when my daughter was actually visiting my class. She was then 15 years old. I was teaching 3rd grade. It was only last year. And she came in and she wanted to do something with the students, which I thought was awesome. And she ended up instructing the students on how to paint a moon. It was really, really a great activity. And I actually created a YouTube video to kind of showcase what we did and the process that we took. So I'll put the link to that YouTube video down in the show notes. So how did this connect with what we were doing? Well, in my school, we're currently teaching a Wit and Wisdom unit. Again, I teach 3rd grade right now. And this specific unit, this module, is on the stars, space, the moon, and we were currently, at that time, studying the first landing on the moon. And we were reading books and articles and watching videos and writing essay after essay after essay. And the kids were invested because it was, it's definitely a topic of interest. And yet it was missing something. And my daughter coming in and saying we could paint some moons, it was just the perfect opportunity for my students to really have that moment of, well, pause, right? This is a little bit of permission to pause here so that they could create and paint their own moon. When you do things like this, just the act of painting, the act of taking that moment to actually create something, it allows your brain to really process all the information that you've been learning. Maybe you process it, or I'm saying this in the stead of my students, the students can process it in their own brains as you're walking around and talking with your students and asking them questions. They're processing the content even more. The act of creation, of making art, really helps to help your students make those deep connections with their own information, their own experiences, and the learning that they're doing. It's very powerful. That's why arts integration is such a powerful mode of learning. So, what is something that you're currently teaching? Are you teaching a unit on novels? Are you doing character studies? Are you doing something in math with geometry that would lend itself to some visual art? I remember I have this one high school English teacher who is now a certified SEAL teacher as well, and she came up once with this amazing lesson where her high school students who were reading a novel, they were studying a character, so they were doing some character studies, and what she asked them to do was pick a character and then create a mandala for that character. And she went in detail with what to put in the center and how to create all the rings, the concentric circles that came out from the center of that mandala. And the students essentially encapsulated their characters inside these beautiful, colorful, amazing mandalas that she then was able to have amazing discussions with her students about the characters. And the students were able to really talk about their characters with each other as well. Creation, allowing for time to be creative in your classroom, is really priceless. So give yourself the permission to create something with your students that's connected to your content and see what happens from it. And I would even say, invite your administrator in to see what's happening. Invite your administrators in to talk to the students as they're creating and get them to see just how powerful being creative in the classroom really can be. All right, let me know what you're going to think about doing. And if you want to talk back and forth about some ideas, by all means, go ahead and DM me over at Instagram or on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube as well. I'm at The Inspired Classroom on all the social media platforms. All right, have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Elizabeth Peterson. Be sure to subscribe, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you.